Hello, boys and girls. It's Mr. Page coming at you again with another science review. This is part two, and we're going to be going over some information that we learned prior in the year. Starting off with mixtures. Now, a mixture is a blend of two or more substances blended together that do not change their properties, like rocks and golf balls. If you were to mix those together, the rocks would still be rocks and the golf balls would still be golf balls. Or like a salad, lettuce, and tomatoes. The lettuce and the tomatoes do not change their properties. They're still lettuce and they're still tomatoes. What is a substance? Well, a substance is any single component or part of a mixture or a solution. So, if we were talking about the previous examples, a substance would be the rocks or the golf balls, or it could be a substance, could be the lettuce, it could be the tomatoes. So it's any single component of a mixture or a solution. So if we were talking about a solution, a substance could be, for example, salt and water. Those two things would be substances. Water would be a substance, salt would be a substance. Solutions. A solution is a combination of a liquid that has some substance completely dissolved in it. So again, back to salt water. Water would be the solvent, and the solute would be the salt. So a solute could be sugar. Another solute could be um, toothpaste, which would dissolve in water. So it's those two components. The solution would be a solvent and a solute, but it has to dissolve completely. You can't see after you stir it up. You can't see a substance at the bottom because it's not dissolved. And so a solution has to be completely dissolved. All the molecules have to be completely distributed throughout the solvent. So you cannot see the two apart. It looks like one final liquid. A physical change. A physical change is a change of physical properties of a substance without changing the chemical properties. So it's a physical change, not a chemical change. Like crumbling up paper. You haven't changed the chemical structure of that. It's still paper. It has just changed its look, its physical appearance. Freezing liquid water. Well, when you freeze water, it's still water. If you boil water, it's still water. It just turns to a vapor. Okay? Chemical changes. Now, these are different. A change in the chemical composition of one or more substances that creates one or more new substances, like burning paper. It's no longer paper, it's now carbon. It's no longer the same thing. Combining vinegar and baking soda. Now, we did that in class, okay? And as you know, uh, that generates uh, a gas and some vapor. There's a lot of chemical changes that happen with that. Signs of a chemical change would be bubbling, smoking, odor change, color change, solids forming at the bottom of a liquid. These are clear indicators that something new has been formed. There has been a chemical change. Tools for separating solids from liquids. You might have seen this one on the upper left in your mom's kitchen. It's called a sieve, and you use it to strain things. Maybe she's used it to strain macaroni from a pot of boiling water with macaroni in it. So it's used to separate solids from liquids, right? Macaroni is a solid, water is a liquid. Here's another version, a circular version on the upper right. And then you've seen these at the bottom that we used during our water filtration project. And that's basically a coffee filter. And a coffee filter is used to separate the solid coffee grinds from the water. Tools for separating magnetic metals from non magnetic metals. Well, that tool is called a magnet, and we've used those in class as well. Methods of separating liquids. Evaporation. You heat the mixture or the solution to the boiling point. The substance with the lowest boiling point will evaporate. Like boiling salt water solution, the water will evaporate, thereby separating, and the residual substance at the bottom of the jar, pan, or beaker will be the salt. So it effectively has separated the water from the salt using evaporation. Properties of metals. Metals can be malleable or have malleability, and that is the ability to be reshaped by force, like striking it with a hammer, or by bending it with your hands. Ductility. A metal is called ductile if there's an ability for it to be pulled into a wire, like electrical copper wire. Conductivity is the ability to transfer heat or electricity. Magnetic is the ability to be attracted by a magnet. Some metals are magnetic, some metals are not. Iron and silver are very magnetic. Copper is not magnetic. Okay, that's it for this time, guys. Until next time, feel free to watch this video again as many times as you need. Stop it, take notes, watch it again, and be sure to complete the assignments associated with this lesson. And remember, learn something new every day. Very important. Learn something new every day. Up next, part two of our spiral review of our content that we learned this year. We'll continue on with part two, part three, and we'll continue on from there.